Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Roca Pizzeria, Government Street here in Mid-City. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff along with Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kitchens back in the studio. Randy McCabe be with us today. Scott Rabelais from The Advocate will be with us. Scott's a busy guy these days. He's covering LSU women's basketball, LSU gymnastics.
Fun,
and
busy for him. Though.
And the Zurich.
Not?
Yeah, today's the Zurich Media Day, so he's down there covering that. He's counting down the days to Augusta. That's rapidly approaching. So he'll be with us. Wes Reynolds with us as well. Consensus golf picks. Yeah, we'll have golf picks from him. We got LSU Pro Day going on over at the facility. The runs and jumps and the measurements started about an hour ago. And so we'll be getting some of those results to you as we go along during the show today. LSU got working out today. Zy Alexander, Major Burns, Will Campbell, Garrett Dellinger, Miles Frazier, Emory Jones, Savion Jones, Kyron Lacey, Gio Paez, Greg Penn, Blake Oschendorf, Slade Roy, Parashan, Braden Swinson, Mason Taylor, Josh Williams. So 16 in all participants at Pro Day.
But Will's in sweats, kind of.
Yeah, he's not.
Are they measuring him or?
They did all that at the combine. I think he's there to smile and wave. Really, I would be
mostly for the non-combine guys.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was just on live with the SEC network people and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
you know the deal. Once you get a good time in there, you let it go. If you don't have a time that you're pleased with at the combine, you can run again, like Jarvis Landry. You know, when Jarvis Landry kind of pulled a groin up at the combine, he ran again at LSU Pro Day and ran a far superior time at that. Sometimes you get that stuff. Not all of these guys were invited to the combine. So
most schools track is a little bit quicker. That Indianapolis combine track tends to be historically a little slower. So you get the read, but not everybody that's participating today was invited, to the combine. So you have a lot of those as well. But the Campbell thing is interesting, huh? All the tape in the world at the highest level, right?
Right.
The highest level of competition. Although is this a year where the SEC is not going to have the most drafted or the most first rounders? It's usually it's going to be closer than usual.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready
to top 10.
Well, if your top 10 goes Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Armand Membu has moved into most mock top 10s. That's a tackle from Missouri, so that's one. Mason Graham, the defensive lineman from Michigan. Ashton Genty, the running back from Boise State. Then you get, and it's Shadur Sanders, of course, who you get a lot of different opinions on Shadur these days. You see him as high as 2 in these drafts, and in some of these
top 10,
and some of these mock drafts, you see him slide all the way out of the top 10 entirely. I think that's unlikely, but I can't rule it out. And then you get into the Georgia guys. Georgia's going to have three players go probably in the top 20.
Yeah.
Campbell will be a top 10 pick. Now, he may not be the first lineman off the board the way we thought he was just a few weeks ago, but he's going in the top 10. James Pierce, the edge rusher from Tennessee, is going in the top half of the first round, I'm pretty sure. Shamar Stewart, the defensive lineman from Texas A&M, is going in the top 20 or so. Walter Nolan, the defensive lineman from Ole Miss, is a first rounder. I don't know if he's a top half of the first round, but he's a first rounder. Matthew Golden, the receiver from Texas, could go in the first round. Jihad Campbell from Alabama, the linebacker, could go in the first round. The corner from Texas, Jadri Barron, go in the first round. The safety from South Carolina, Emin Worry, is definitely going in the first round, probably in the second half of the first round. So it's going to be close. I'll tell you one that give me your, you'll excuse the pun, your dart throw on Jackson Dart, because you got way more people saying he's going in the first round now, even in the top half of the first round.
Really? Quarterback climbs.
quarterbacks climb. Shocking, right? It
It's just
never,
unbelievable.
never happens.
You know my deal on Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's okay, but and look, it's not just me. If you read any type of a lot of draft analysis, they know that Kiffin, puts him in position to make some really easy throws.
Yeah.
Puts him in a comfort. It's very quarterback friendly system that you're just not going to have these type of wide open opportunities, windows that you have, at the college level. And I think he's capable, Charlie, but with the amount of starts that he had, and it's funny, this is one of his better first 2.5, 3 quarters, and absolutely his worst quarter with so much on the line down in Gainesville, that
Right.
it was just it's kind of unforgivable with that many starts, that deep into his career. You cannot be doing. That's why I'm so hard on Allaire. I mean, that start 25, he's doing that crap against Notre Dame.
I thought
That's you gotta. That's not start 7.
Right.
Something like that.
You and I took a field trip yesterday, so we were listening.
A great field trip.
We took a great field trip yesterday.
Max finally turned me on to something.
What's that?
He finally turned me on to something.
Oh, I got to.
Well, I just didn't know if it was this Bruley, Gautreau, Pierre Pard store. No, that thing is a little slice of
MMA,
home cook, outdoor chef heaven.
Okay.
Oh, it's got every little gadget. You probably put me on something.
The Pierre Part store is great.
Isn't it great?
Yes.
It's an iconic institution.
It's historic, but I mean, I got me a new crawfish net, because Charlie, not everybody. I go on and on.
Not everybody.
I mean,
I
got a new gumbo pot. You
got an igniter.
No, the eggniter. That's with the egg. I got my egg cover, the whole thing. You can't get an egg without the eggniter. I mean, it's a little slice of heaven.
It's
for you home chefs, outdoor cooks, tailgate cooks.
So on the way back from our field trip, we were listening to Matt's show. We listened to AFR, and Matt Miller, the draft expert from ESPN, I thought he had a good comment about Jackson Dart. He said, "There's some first round tape on Jackson Dart if you want to find it. There are times where he looks like," that's the way I took it. There are times where you can see him look like a first round quarterback, and times where he doesn't. He's not a can't miss. He's not a slam dunk, but he's intriguing. I kind of look at it like, if I took Jackson Dart in the first round, I'd be really nervous. If I took Jackson Dart in the second round, I'd be throwing a party. It's my risk reward.
No, he's not,
and you're not going to get him in the second round.
He's
not a first round slam dunk, but he's probably going to go in the first round. So you're not going to get him in the second round anymore.
How many third round grade quarterbacks have gone to the first round in the last 10 years?
Oh,
a lot.
Yeah,
a lot. Okay, and I mean, can he be good? Could be. I mean, in this part, he was highly recruited. I mean, part of it is because he has some of the measurables as far as the size and arm strength. He's got, he's got he got more than capable arm, more than capable size. I'm going to tell you one thing he's not going to do in the pros, but I give him credit for at the college level, and that's going to translate. He's some of the, these quarterbacks, especially from West Coast, he's tough because Kiffin, it's funny how Kiffin and Freeze both ran their quarterbacks about 10 times a game. Design.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have some breakdowns, but when it went in, you're going to have enough designs if your quarterback's running the ball 10 times a game. And even your boy like Swag Kelly and all of them. But he would run behind his pads. And he would lower his shoulder. And that's not happening in the NFL. But it does tell you a little bit about his toughness that he may hang in the pocket a little bit
Stick
more.
his nose in there.
So it's a different type of toughness that will translate. But I don't know if he always had that. But he sure learned it because he – at Ole Miss and Kiffin's offense, you're going to run it enough. Either learn how to run properly, and sort of lean and sort of deliver a little bit of a blow instead of taking all the blow.
He was a better quarterback when he left by far than when he got there. And he was a really highly rated kid. So I give him credit for all of that. I like him. I'd like to have him on my team. I don't want to spend the number 9 pick in the draft on him necessarily, but I like him enough. I do worry about you talk about the quarterbacks going up. When there is quarterback scarcity, these guys tend to go up higher than they should, and there's just not a lot of quarterbacks that are up high on the draft board. I'll give you a couple of examples. You'll get both of these names. One of them's recent. One of them is a little bit further back. Kenny Pickett was the top quarterback in the draft the year that the Steelers took him in the first round. And in a normal year, if Kenny Pickett would have been in last year's draft, he probably would not have gone until the third round. Okay, because of all the quarterbacks.
That, but he might have crept up.
But maybe. But Kenny Pickett.
You don't think Kenny Pickett and Dart are very similar coming out with their grades?
I like Dart a little bit better, but Pickett was the top guy in that class. He went. We agree that he went higher than he should have.
Sure.
Okay. And I'll give you Jim Druckenmiller. Now I'm going back into the 90s now, out of Virginia Tech.
I thought he might be better.
He was bigger. He was a big
huge
kid. And he was the number one quarterback in that draft, and the Niners took him in the first round. And he ended up not being much of an NFL player at all.
Well, it's hard. It's
very hard.
It is a crapshoot. I mean, we've seen first overall picks flame out. I mean, but to me, Pickett and Dart are very similar. Dart was in a complete, much more offensively oriented system.
Yeah.
But if you remember, Pickett can run a little bit too.
Yeah,
he had the famous play.
Oh, they had to change the rule.
But he did it.
Yeah, he did.
So I saw him play last year. Did he look completely dumbfounded when he came in against Washington?
No.
He sure found his the most talented receiver and wore him out.
AJ
Brown.
He is an upper half of the league backup quarterback. That's what I think.
And that's what I think Dart is too.
And if Dart's going to be an upper half of the league backup quarterback, I don't want to use a first round pick on him. He's got to start if I'm going to use that. I would rather, if I have a choice, risk reward, I would rather take Kyle McCord in the third round, where I think he'll be available, than Jackson Dart in the first. But it doesn't mean I'm down on Dart completely as a prospect. I like him. It's just I don't know if I like him as much as I have to like him to take him where he's got to go. How many
starts at Ole Miss?
3 seasons worth.
Okay, but I mean, this is we have learned, have we not, in minor league football, college football, that the more, would Bo Nix be as good as he is if he didn't have the many starts?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
no. And he had 30 starts at Auburn.
A guy like Trubisky, a guy like Trubisky, who had 1 year starting.
Yeah,
and that thing was completely out. I mean, he's got 38
played in 45 games.
45
games. Yeah.
I mean, that's an asset.
When did Bo Nix become Bo Nix? Was obviously changed schools, but he had over 30 starts at Auburn. I'm almost certain, because he was there for 3 years.
We're counting everything, Charlie, before he went.
I know, but
draft.
He wasn't. Bo Nix wouldn't have gotten drafted after the Auburn years. If he'd have gone pro after 3 years at Auburn,
34 games at Auburn.
34 games after 34 starts at Auburn. Bo Nix might have been a 5th round pick. And so you give him 25 more, and he got there.
Jaden Daniels, how many starts did he have in college? He had 4.5 years of starting.
And Jaden Daniels probably started 25 games at Arizona State. He started 3 years, but one was a COVID year, and so another 20. Yeah, the second 25.
He had 6 games that COVID year. Was it 5 or 6 games?
I thought it was 4, because remember Pac-12 got started real late. But anyway, it was about 20, 25, 26, 28 games at Arizona State, and another 25
over
at LSU. Starts. 50 starts. He wasn't ready after 25 starts, but he was damn sure ready after 50.
And so they how many total?
He had 29 at Arizona State and 26 at
55.
LSU.
Yeah. Okay.
Sammy Hagar. Charlie just got back from Cabo.
By the way, Jimmy,
I can't drive.
You respect which
club,
mock drafter most?
The guy that actually drew a check.
Daniel Jeremiah?
Yes.
14 of 32 SEC.
Is that many? Okay.
Draft. Yeah.
So how many top 10?
3 are Texas. He's got, I think, 7 in the top 12, but only a lot of those are in
7 of the top 12?
Top 13.
Okay.
But he's got a lot in the back end. So Jahad Campbell, he has mocked to the Saints at number 9 from Bama.
Okay. Well, business as usual then. Yeah. So, but I don't know.
Texas being added is certainly a big part of that. They've got 3 or 4 of them this year.
Well, I still don't know one. Abdul Carter, he's great and everything, but Travis Hunter, I've seen enough of him. My goodness.
He's one of one.
What?
He's one of one.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I mean,
Even Dion didn't play that much
I
offensive
do have a
defense in
theory
college.
about that. There's been, the reporters say, wait, Shador didn't strike me as this, and they trying to come, and then Dion saying they're stacking the deck, or maybe there's some hate going on with so the thing. You don't think they're throwing that test balloon out there, some unfair critiques of Shador to see how his family will react?
They are, but they shouldn't have to, because anybody who has watched Dion, listened to Dion over the last, well, really his whole career, but certainly the last 2 years, knows what you're going to get. Did you think there was going to be any criticism of Shador and Dion keep his mouth shut? Not for 1 second.
Don't forget, over here at Rocca Pizzeria, we're on Government Street in the heart of Mid-City. We rotate between the Go Eat concepts over here at Rocca and Modesto. And, man, look, springtime, so we are sort of kind of updating some of the menu items. And for instance, like, the heirloom tomatoes are in season. Creole tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes, both are in season right now. So the burrata cheese, it's kind of a creamier version of a freshwater mozzarella cheese, and the heirloom tomatoes, that is on the salad menu have right now. Nothing more refreshing and good. I mean, really, really good stuff. I highly suggest. We're doing hummus over here right now. House-made hummus with the olive salad and herb salt flatbread. Chicken Parmesan. Standard Italian dish, but a new menu item over here and selling like crazy here at Rocca. So, and then we've got sort of shifted our pasta salad. Charlie, you've had all of us, Max, we've all had the pasta salad. We like split a pizza and have a little split of the pasta salad. But the old pastas, we had a pasta salad here, but we're kind of converting it a little bit, going from a pesto vinaigrette to more of a citrus vinaigrette. So for the spring season. So we have altered our pasta salad and also doing a penne pasta over here as well. We have a sensation salad of old Baton Rouge tradition, so our own version of our sensation salad. Salumi board. Salumi is the Italian charcuterie, okay? Not only have we updated, and we constantly update it seasonally, but we lowered the price as well, where everything is going up. Not the salumi boards over here, because we're proud of them and we want to see more of them go out. So come check out. It's great shareable for a party of any size at your table. And then one of the sides that we've updated, we're doing roasted fingerling potatoes over here with the garlic and butter and, the grana cheese and herbs. And so good stuff. And a dessert. We did have this olive oil cake. So, boy, you talk about delicious stuff. Patana, extra virgin olive oil, sliced almonds, whipped mascarpone, and it was on the menu, the dessert menu. It's been brought back by popular demand. So you Rocca regulars, it is back on the menu over here. Our ultra popular olive oil cake here at Rocca. It's not just pizza, Charlie.
Live at Rocca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Take a swing around the parish to one of Breck's 5 golf courses, 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers, the popular 18-hole Webb Park, and 2 9-hole courses, City Park and the newly renovated J.S. Clark. Breck's courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer from beginner to pro. So come and get into the swing of things. Book your tee time online or find a course near you at golf.breck.org. That's golf.breck.org.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross Tech, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross Tech exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the GPS directions first before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Wait. Skechers put the S in comfort?
Yes, comfort you have to feel to believe. Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Let me try. Okay, I'm just stepping in and... Oh, wow. Skechers put the S in comfort.
Duh. We told you.
Find Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hi, this is Ashley McDaniel with Landmark Bank. At Landmark Bank, we offer competitive CD rates, business and personal accounts, loans, mobile banking, and more. But what sets us apart is our personal touch and passion for our community. We believe that the future of our bank depends on the success and satisfaction of our customers. Come see a friendly face and someone who knows you and your business and wants to help you accomplish your goals. We're now open in Brewley and would love to talk to you. Give us a call at 225-250-5411 or stop in and see us. LandmarkBankLA.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you struggling to lose weight? Rejuve Me Medical offers medically monitored weight loss. Look and feel better this year. Start your weight loss journey today at RejuveMeMedical.com. That's REJUVIME Medical.com.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rocca Pizzeria on Government Street on 1045 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, LouisianaSports.net, 1045ESPN.com. New Handycast that we dropped on Monday. LSU Baseball, me, Doug Thompson, and Dan Canaveri. You can get that on YouTube at Handycast. So they're still doing the linemen are running right now. The backs just finished up about 10 minutes ago. Their verticals. Josh Williams had a 42-inch vertical.
That's good.
It would have been number 2 at the combine, period, regardless of position, and number 3 as a running back at any combine. So that's I like Josh Williams, nice player, but I didn't expect that one.
It's not like 40 times too, where you can there's a slower track and things like that. It's the exact same thing as they do. I mean, you're a little bit more familiar territory, but I mean, it's as respected as if you would do it at Indianapolis. And think why, I'm a big believer in verticals,
vertical in the standing broad jump to measure explosion.
Yeah. I mean, it just so where he may lack a little bit in that 40 time. You see why maybe he was as productive as a back as he was at the highest level of college football.
Josh Williams will go into your camp. He'll bust his butt every single day. He'll play every special teams you need him to play. He'll go get a hard yard. He can catch the football. Look, he is not a dynamic back. I mean, I'm not saying that, he's Saquon Barkley or anything, but he'll give you an honest day's work for whatever you ask him to do. Pro days today at LSU. Guess where else they're having pro day today? There's a joke to be made here. Ohio State. So the joke is that the Saints sent the entire contingent to Ohio State and sent nobody to LSU. That's an old bad joke. That's not true, because they draft so many players from Ohio State and not anybody from LSU. But both of those schools are having their pro days today, along with Pitt and Virginia Tech. Let me double back for a second on the Will Campbell thing.
I don't think that exists anymore.
What's that?
I don't think it's that. There was some bad blood there before, because Benson had a bad experience in Baton Rouge.
Right.
During the Katrina thing. It was bad. It was, and so
I think that they,
I think Ohio State's been good for the Saints on it.
Listen, if they're gonna, I've always suspected that LSU had a deep mole somewhere in the campus in Columbus. Somebody, maybe it's a trainer, maybe it's a manager, it's somebody on staff, whoever their Sam Nader is, that gives them what they consider reliable information, because just about all of those Ohio State guys that LSU that the Saints have drafted have been good players.
They've had a great success rate.
You're going to go, pigeonhole a school. It's not Tennessee Tech, it's Ohio State. I got no problem with them being up there. I just was making a joke. Will Campbell, this is when you get the over analysis. After 3 years of good tape, you're getting the short arms theory. 32 and 5/8.
It measured 33 today.
30.
So maybe
his arms grew in 3/8 of an inch since.
Yeah, the humidity stretches out your arms, Charlie. Everybody knows
your
that.
fingers are longer.
His wingspan.
What if you eat crawfish? Don't your fingers kind of shrink a little bit? Your nails or whatever. Your fingertips shrink.
Maybe when in the cold in Indianapolis, he kind of shriveled up a little
33-inch arm up from 32 and 5/8, but his wingspan dropped 1/8 of an inch from 77 and 3/8 to 77 and 2/8.
Shrinkage.
Let's stay away from that one, please. For comparison, I went back and checked Andrew Whitworth's measurements from the combine, because he's probably the most similar comp to Campbell. 3 year, full-time starter at LSU left tackle. They're roughly the same height, 6'6", 6'7". Whitworth was a 35-inch arm at the combine the year he came out. It's noteworthy because Whitworth spent most of his first 2 years at guard in the NFL before he moved to a full-time tackle. And there's no reason that Campbell can't start at tackle as a rookie, but if they wanted to start him at guard just to see, it's not like that path hasn't been taken before and you don't turn into a dominant tackle. Whitworth did. He's going to be a 12 to 14-year starting NFL lineman. I am as certain of that as I'm certain that Thursday follows Wednesday. I mean, unless something really, really out of the ordinary happens with an injury or something, I think this guy's a can't miss. Maybe it's as a guard, maybe it's as a tackle, but I can't. There's nobody's going to tell me this guy's arms are 1/8 of an inch shorter or 3/8 of an inch shorter than what we thought they were, and so we're going to drop him considerably. I still think he's a top 10 pick. They want to take the cat out of Missouri in front of him. Go right ahead. Speaking of Missouri, Luther Burden's dropping. He's another one. Okay, we watched Luther Burden for.
Man, I'll take him.
Can he play?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we care how tall he is? I mean, no. Do we care how big his hands
Jamar
are?
Chase is not the tallest guy, but his catch radius is much bigger than guys his size.
And Chase is such a physical receiver.
They're showing the old Green Bay Cincinnati game that you went to,
Yeah,
where all the kickers shared missing all the kicks forever, until finally Mason Crosby made like his fourth. But Chase had a catch on the boundary that they called out of bounds, but. It's almost like Patrick Peterson interception, because he shouldn't be able to make that catch. Oh, but they reviewed it and they gave it to him. But I mean, it just, that was his rookie season.
Yeah, Chase, for all of the receivers that have come through here, and the Odell Beckhams and Jarvis Landers and Malik Neighbors, and you want to go back a little bit further, the Dwayne Bowes. Chase is the most physically gifted guy I've seen come through here, and look, but there's plenty of. He's the best receiver I've ever seen. I know Odell Beckham can take the ball off the top of the backboard.
Okay, Beckham's a freak.
He is.
Okay,
he is.
But the difference between Beckham and Jarvis was what? Jarvis way more physical. Jarvis on kickoff cut to show you he loved physicality.
Right. He
I mean, he had a little bit of my favorite Hines Ward in him.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants to hit you. He wants to me, Chase is a combination of those two because he can make those now, Jarvis has made his fair share acrobatic catches as well.
He did.
I mean, he reached around the guy from Arkansas.
The last pass Mettenberger threw at LSU was that catch you're talking about when he basically went through the damn defensive back.
And then the one in Fayetteville where he kind of got his feet down. So he had his acrobatic catches.
Like the Matrix.
But Chase, his lower body strength and his physical, he's a receiver that won't go down with arm tackles. You're going to have to tackle him.
Right.
But then he can also, Beckham's just such a freak, Charlie. I mean, catching the balls with one hand, like kickoffs with one hand. Kind of.
If they go do decathlon, maybe Beckham might beat him, but Chase was just so damn good.
I think he's just so much more physical.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know, but
you can't miss.
We're splitting hairs, but the Charlie Beckham's one of the most gifted athletes.
Yes, he is.
That's ever played in the NFL. He's done some things that just nobody can do, and I don't just he's done enough of them. These not just one play against Dallas his rookie year.
So. No, go watch this YouTube video. Watch him dunk a basketball, and ask me how many receivers in the NFL could do that like that. It's a pretty short list.
Don't forget our friends over at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is what you get when you call 296-0060. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie, and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Rocca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
A little field trip down to the Thibodeau store yesterday. Jimmy Ott was blown away at the Cajun Cookware.
Cookware is legit.
Let me tell you something. It took me an hour to get him out of there. He wouldn't stop shopping, wouldn't stop buying stuff at the Thibodeau store yesterday. That whole Cajun Cookware spot, the whole big green egg cooker section, and all of the extras that you can get with that.
There is no doubt, Charlie. And man, like the McWare, I picked up a new McWare, gumbo and stew stove top, pot. So we can do that, but all your outdoor cooking, tailgate cooking, the Cajun Classic, cast iron cookware, terrific stuff. Cast iron oyster grill, where you do your char grilled oysters on your grill. You got that. All of your green egg accessories. You got the outdoor burners. They come with single, double, or triple, burners for, just tailgating or or it's personal. I felt like I was with the Jambalaya Festival, with all the different size burners and jambalaya pots. Great line of everything for crawfish boils, including the fleur-de-lis outdoors. And think about it, they've got different sizes pots and everything that I'm describing, and all different price points. So exactly what you want. You want to go all in with super duper big, but you don't need it. So they've got a great selection. And at both of the stores, it's turkey cookers, for your deep fried turkeys. So and I even picked up a new crawfish net because not all the women and children like their crawfish as spicy as mine, Charlie. It's good enough for one tray of crawfish. Boom, you do that. It's great, man.
Cajun Cookware, specialty cookware shipped right to your door online. It's doitbest.com/Thibodeau store.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Tracks.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Super Chevy dealers today.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Start living life to the fullest. Join all of our patients who have transformed their smile in just one day at the Fusion Implant Center. Hi, this is Dr. Leo Reagan.
And I'm Dr. Michael Casadaband. Dentists from all over Louisiana are referring their patients to the Fusion Implant Center, where we specialize in treating missing teeth and creating that perfect smile in just one day.
Dentists recommend Fusion Implant Center because our board-certified doctors ensure that every procedure is done correctly, painlessly, and cost-effectively in our state-of-the-art facility.
The Fusion Implant Center is the only facility in Louisiana equipped with a team of experts where no procedure is too complex. So if you have failing teeth and want to eliminate dentures completely, ask your dentist about the Fusion Implant Center.
Make today the day you change your smile forever. Call us or visit FusionImplantCenter.com. Remember, one moment can change a day, and one day can change your life. Your perfect smile starts at the Fusion Implant Center.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked before those sweltering temperatures arrive. Ensure your unit is performing at max efficiency, lower your monthly bills, and prolong the life of your central air conditioner. Right now, mention my name or Jimmy Ott and get $100 off that service. Down from $179 to $79. Call Total Maintenance for generators, electricity, and plumbing issues. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000, and in New Orleans, call 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Louisiana's big weather can mean big damage to your roof. Our team offers free inspections and guarantees your satisfaction. Call 756-8603 or visit riceandroofing.com.
Just to be on the safe side.
Jake and James, the Trash Rangers. Do you need one more reason to switch your residential trash pickup? How about $13.95 a month for the first few months? Go to trashrangers.com and make the switch today.
Arrow Termite Control. Termite control starting at $349. When the bugs gotta go, call Arrow Termite and Pest Control.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rocca Pizzeria on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And a return here at Rocca Pizzeria. We're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners when it comes to retirement. No two situations are alike, so let Coastal Capital Advisors work with you, as well as your business partners, your legal team, tax professionals, to make sure all of your retirement goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you, and I know for sure because they have worked for me, developing that lifetime plan. So no matter what your age or your financial situation, they will develop a plan for you. Contact Philip Fontenot and his staff, 337-981-1376 or online coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA, SIPC.
Let's bring in Randy McKay right now. Randy, how did you fare? You're hot on Thursday, not so much on Friday with some of the releases that we shared with our audience. 9-1 on Thursday. This was a different type of tournament. A lot of the sort of the underdogs from the smaller conferences did not fare as well overall as usual, and gets us into the is Cinderella dead? Might not be dead, but life's a lot tougher for Cinderella in the current landscape of college basketball.
Yeah, kind of an anomaly for me. A hot start and then have a bad Friday and pretty much a break-even tournament for me so far. So, just kind of got to adjust. Maybe some of these portal issue things are cutting into the mid-majors here where maybe some of them dog numbers aren't so good. And, maybe you got to adjust and, maybe look at some of the favorites. But that being said, we move on to the Sweet 16 and I see a couple dogs I like.
How can it not be tougher? How can it not be, scary? Now, listen, McNeese State, they won. They were 12 seed. That was typical. Well, we just a little bit more familiar. I don't think we were completely shocked that McNeese State beat Clemson. and then the rest. And it's funny how I listen to some other handicappers around this is not your typical mid-major Hoosiers type of roster. Well, that's not what Will Wade's going to do. But the other one that could have hit, and it maybe should have hit, was UC San Diego. And we knew they were the number one covering team. They're playing a very small conference. Probably wouldn't have gotten in, even with that gaudy record. But, if they would have won. But, man, all the others, man, like Akron is 15-1 and won their conference tournament. You got a lot of these 28-30 win teams that weren't even competitive. Bryant was competitive for a half against Michigan State. It got blown out.
Where do you put Colorado State? Because they were
Colorado State's Mountain West Conference. So New Mexico won also. I'm not. The Mountain West Conference is now like maybe with the Big East, that might be a stretch, but they're pretty good, Charlie. They had
a lousy record in the tournament, but they had a lot of teams that historically piled a lot of wins up.
But Randy Clayton Jr., first team All-American at Georgia. He came from Iona. Janai Broom, first team All-American, probably be national player runner-up. He came from Morehead State. Sears at Alabama. He came from Ohio. You just can't lose these guys it without having some sort of effect.
Yeah, I don't know. Even throw in Grant Nelson, came from North Dakota State,
absolutely,
for Alabama.
Yes,
pretty good player as well. So yeah, it's definitely showing. I think you just got to monitor that every year and see how it affects. And fortunately, it makes it tougher to figure out some of these numbers when these teams play that conference, coming into the NCAA tournament for 2 months, and then you got to readjust and try to figure out how they're going to match up against each other in the tournaments here.
So why haven't we seen a similar effect, Charlie? You too, but in football, because in theory, you should. The rich should get richer. A guy like Gibbs, the running back at Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
and he goes to Alabama, and bam. That's to be that heavy payroll type of program where you could just go cherry pick, guys at weaker programs.
You are seeing it, Jimmy. I think the difference is Ohio State doesn't play Colorado State in football in December or January the way these teams play at the end of the season. So that you can see it, okay?
But the SEC and Ohio State have the biggest payrolls.
Yeah.
We didn't see that on the SEC this year.
No, but it wasn't at the expense of the mid-majors. It was at the expense of the Big Ten mostly. The Big Ten had more teams up at the top. I still think that the gap is widening between the Sun Belts and the SECs than it was before.
But the Sun Belts never could compete in football with the big boys. Okay, it's different in basketball as far as that's concerned. You can't. You might be able to go get a player, but we didn't see the biggest budgets. You want to go through them in Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. They weren't the best teams.
No, SMU and Arizona made the Arizona State made the playoff, and Alabama and
so
LSU
it's the format.
In that case, maybe it was, yeah, because Alabama would have been favored against
Randy,
those
your
teams.
thoughts?
Yeah, you're just then you got to equivalate too. You got to football's 11 person on the field compared to basketball's only 5. So less players there as well, and you got to factor that in, and maybe eventually we will see that. But of course, maybe more rich talent too in football than there is in basketball as well.
I think is it harder to evaluate in football than basketball, because I'm a big believer in you're surrounded by, I don't care if you're playing linebacker, defensive lineman, offensive lineman, running back for sure. If you're surrounded by really good talent, it sure makes you look a lot better on film in football. Whereas I think you can identify a little bit. History's shown us that, huh, Charlie? Are there more misses in the NFL draft or the NBA draft? It's in the NFL draft. It's
a lot more. So many more players.
Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course you got equivalent football too. You know, offensive and defensive lines, play out more than So you look at a team like, my home team, North Dakota State. Why have they been so successful? But you look on a lot of NFL teams. There's a North Dakota State guy in their offensive line or defensive line.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, who you looking at in the Sweet 16 matchups, Randy?
Yeah, a couple dogs here. Of course, going to fade the Duke train here right away here on Thursday. Going to take the points here with Arizona. I think Duke's going to be overinflated for all these games, but hopefully we can get inside the number here. Unfortunately, Duke will probably win in advance, but I could see Arizona giving them, a close game, even though they had to, play the tough schedule spot there where they had the late game. I don't know where the NCAA comes up with scheduling, but they had to play the late game there on Sunday and then come back and play this game here on Thursday, across the country. So a little bit of a tough spot, but they've seen each other before and like Arizona here getting the points.
Oh, they will be inflated. That doesn't mean Duke won't.
Yeah.
They won't cover. It's just, one thing about it, they are big public. They were, and the betting public certainly shifted as well. The betting public will bet the dogs, will bet those obscure mid-majors. That's what they've done historically and done pretty well over the years. But they got it handed, especially on Friday. But they shifted and they were betting Duke like the game was over on Sunday, and they easily covered. So Arizona plus the 9.5 right now currently. Who else?
Yeah, I'm going to come back with the Wolverines here, like what has been seen out of them. A little bit of different matchup here with Auburn, number one seed in the whole tournament, back to their dog roll, which should be a good spot here. I feel their big men will match up a little bit here with Auburn. Won't have so much trouble turning the ball over against Auburn as they were against, San Diego and then the game they advanced on. So, like Michigan here getting the points, and feel this game should be a dogfight all the way down to the end. Auburn really hasn't been that impressive, lately. So, like Michigan getting the points.
What was the game on that Saturday with 2 games to go, and they were on the ride back where they won and clinched the SEC championship game? I forget for Auburn, but it was, they go to A&M and lay a complete egg. They lose at home to Alabama. They win one game, but lose in the semifinals. And it's been unspectacular. Now they managed to win and cover against Creighton, but they were down at half in that matchup as well. I thought the freshman coming off the bench, Pettifer, was outstanding in the Creighton game. But, Michigan, and look, Charlie, so Michigan A&M. A&M's going to have a double-digit second-half lead, and they're going to lose by double digits. Oh, well, they didn't score but like 2 points for 15 minutes or something. No, they gave up 56 points and got out-rebounded by Michigan. Huh? And Michigan only had 9 turnovers.
They got out-rebounded by a lot. And I'll tell you the other thing they did. They lived at the free throw line in that game. Michigan.
But they had a lot late, too.
Well, Michigan made 29. They made 81% of their free throws. They made 29 free throws in that game, which kind of, like you said, expanded that margin at the end.
Michigan, we just keep writing them off, but and
you keep writing them off. I didn't want to
no, that's true. No, I am a non-believer. I am a non-believer. There is no doubt. But they're kind of built for close games, huh, Randy? So nine season. Auburn is not in midseason form. I think that's safe to say, and I think that's what you hinted at, right, Randy?
Yeah, and you look at Dusty May's teams. Even came over from Florida Atlantic and made a run with them. Their teams know to play late in the game and play smart, and you're seeing that first 2 games they did the same thing, and this game if Auburn probably will get in that kind of fight. We'll see how they can adjust, and this might be a spot where they get tripped up. You're seeing pro teams in the past do this. When they, the noose gets around the neck, it gets hung. They get hung a little late. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see if Auburn loses.
Any other picks, Randy?
Yeah, just pretty much looking at those two.
Okay.
I think all the other games are pretty well lined, and also getting a little bit ready here for opening day of baseball. I do have some RSWs if you guys want some,
real quick.
I don't bet regular, but I got over on the Twins 83.5.
Okay.
Under on the Yankees is probably moves. I got it before Cole got injured, 92.5.
92. Oh gosh. Yeah.
I got over 85.5, 84.5. Excuse me, on Seattle, and I have under 82.5 on the Cleveland. Well, I still call them the Indians, but
they can't. I had Cleveland big last year. They can't possibly repeat with all those close victories. I mean, it was and then you take away Ramirez's plate protection, and Naylor as well. I like Seattle to win the AL West as well out there. Houston obviously projected to take a little bit of a dip as well. Follow Randy on Twitter at RR39. RR39. Randy, good luck, man. Thanks again for coming on.
All right, thanks, guys. Good luck, everybody out there.
All right, yeah. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. Been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. United Community Bank, our great team of bankers: Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, and Prentice Wilkes. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Rocca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Rocca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Rocca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Spring is here, and the experts at Capital City Comfort want to guarantee your comfort with a new energy-efficient Rheem HVAC system. This spring, take advantage of special financing and expert installation on all new units.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Visit capitalcitycomfort-br.com.
For nearly 50 years, Gulf Coast Office Products has been Louisiana's trusted leader in office technology, helping businesses in every industry streamline efficiency. As an official partner of the New Orleans Saints and Pelicans, we're committed to delivering top-tier service with flexible leasing options and customized invoicing. With over 100 dedicated employees, we have the expertise to keep your business running smoothly. Call for a free analysis at 225-756-2644. Gulf Coast Office Products, your workforce efficiency lifeline.
Looking for the perfect ride for your next getaway? Rent a car for the week at All-Star Toyota and only pay for 6 days. That's right. Get 7 days of adventure for the price of just 6. Whether you're heading out on a road trip, need a vehicle for the week, or just want something new to drive, we have got you covered. At All-Star Toyota, we offer a wide selection of Toyota vehicles ready to hit the road when you are. Conveniently located at Airline at Goodwood in Baton Rouge. Visit us today or check out our website at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com for more details. All-Star Toyota. People you know, cars you trust.
With WCK, your home will be okay. With WCK, you're on solid ground today. A reputation for a strong foundation makes us leaders among peers. WCK, foundation repair. WCK, a leader among peers. WCK.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
This is for you, your family, and friends. A special Ruffino's cooking experience. Mangia, a culinary tour of Italy at Ruffino's Baton Rouge. On Tuesday, April 8th from 6 to 9 p.m., you can have a front row seat to a Ruffino's 5-course meal, paired wines, and an experience to remember. Seating for this amazing event is limited, so book your spot now for Mangia at ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Jake and James of Trash Rangers. How does $13.95 a month for residential trash pickup sound to you? Go to trashrangers.com for all the info and make the switch today. That's trashrangers.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Roca Pizzeria on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
A few little highlights from Pro Day besides Will Campbell's arms growing. Mason Taylor 4.65 in the 40. That would have been second at the combine. Tyler Warren did not run at the combine, by the way. And Kyron Lacey runs a 4.5 flat in his first attempt at the 40. Be some questions off the field, of course, about Lacey, but a 4.5 flat here. More combine results for you when we come back here live at Rocca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Darren James and Associates, powered by LPT Realty, commit to excellent service unlike any other. Darren and his team save buyers as much money as possible. If you're ready to buy or sell your home, call Darren James or visit agent225.com.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Majestic Metals is located in Sorrento with over 60 years experience in the pre-engineered metal building industry. Majestic Metals is the leading metal roofing manufacturer with high-quality products, superior customer service, and a fast turnaround. We offer both commercial and residential roofing, including a standing seam panel in a variety of colors with a 40-year paint warranty. A metal roof can add value to your home and is energy efficient. Call Majestic Metals at 225-675-3800 and talk to our knowledgeable sales staff for all your commercial and residential needs. Visit us on the web at majesticmetalsinc.com.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow's Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salad, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
Looking to buy, build, or refinance a home? At GMFS Mortgage, we make it easy because we're local. Our underwriting and processing happens right here in the Baton Rouge office. That means faster approvals, smoother closing, and real people who understand your needs. For over 26 years, we've helped our neighbors in Louisiana achieve the dream of home ownership. Visit gmfsmortgage.com to get started today. We are GMFS Mortgage, your local lender.
GMFS. NMLS number 64997 is an equal housing lender. Mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 200A, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70806.
Hey, Baton Rouge. Remember Red Stick Sports, your hometown favorite since 1981. They've been here through every season, serving our community with pride. Still family owned and operated, they're more than just a store. They're a part of your life. Whether it's football, baseball, or any sport in between, they've got you covered. Any season, for any reason. Red Stick Sports is there for you. Swing by today and keep the spirit alive. Red Stick Sports, where every game begins. 5770 Essen Lane.
Pro Savings Days are back at Lowe's with limited time savings on the supplies pros need. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, save an additional $100 on every $1,000 you spend on select major appliances. And don't miss your chance to activate and earn 3 times the points on select DeWalt and Klein tools. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 3/28. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for more details on qualifying items.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rocca Pizzeria on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at Rocca, Government Street at Mid-City, where they got some Lenten specials here too, Jimmy.
Lenten specials like the lump crab arancini, corn and lump crab risotto with the Calabrian chili aioli, the gremolata, then the tamburo nero, that's right, wild-caught black drum, orzo, aglio olio, Charlie char broccolini, lemon butter sauce served with the side of sensation. So that's available for Lent. Also, we're doing some house smoked wings right now here with the 6 wings, choice of spicy bomba Calabrian chili or garlic chimichurri sauce served with house-made ranch or blue cheese vinaigrette. In addition to our new spring menu items as well, lots of things going on over here at Rocca, including the return of the ultra-popular olive oil cake that was taken off of the menu. It's back by popular demand.
Bringing in Scott Rabelais from The Advocate, who is down at the Zurich Media Days today. Rab, how you doing?
I'm good, guys. I'm at a golf course on a beautiful day, so it doesn't get much better for Rab. You know how it is.
I understand. Rory and Shane Lowry coming back to defend their titles this year to Zurich?
They definitely are. They really had a blast. I mean, obviously, when you win,
we noticed.
Fun, right?
They weren't faking it.
No, they said Steve Worthy, the tournament director, was saying how quickly viral that video went with them singing at the 19th hole, at the post-tournament party, and they said right then that they were coming back, and they have committed to returning this year, which is a huge boost for the tournament. I mean, obviously Rory not only is as big a name as among active golfers as you can have, but he's also pretty hot too. He won at Pebble Beach. He just won the Players. So wouldn't it be something if he won the Masters, then came here 2 weeks later? He finally won the Grand Slam. But it's big enough as it is. They're coming back.
Yeah, I can't imagine the boost. It's almost impossible to measure to have 2 major champions win like that in a player of Rory's stature, and then for them to have those videos and stuff like that. It's a great boost for the Zurich, and I know you're headed to Augusta here in a few weeks. But let's back up on LSU women's basketball, Rab. Couple things that have really kind of stood out in the 2 blowout wins. Number one is, 3. Number one, the health of the stars. Any concerns about Flau'jae Johnson and Anissa Morrow have been eased. Number 2, the play of the bench. They have gotten so much more out of the bench in the last 2 games than they did, and even in the SEC tournament, than they did down the stretch in the regular season. And then the ball movement, the number of assists the other night was really staggering. They're really moving the ball well. So those were the things that stood out to me. What stood out to you?
Yeah, if I may, pick on one of the things that you just said, the ball movement. They had 28 assists on 41 made baskets against Florida State, which is, or 29. It was an astounding number. And just the passing, Florida State got so fixated down low on Morrow, they kept leaving Samaya Smith wide open. And there was one play that really struck me, Charlie. Flau'jae Johnson drove the left baseline. The defense is kind of collapsing on her. She does a little pass under the basket to Morrow, who's wide open for a layup. And when you, to me, I always feel like when you're in the postseason and you see that kind of chemistry, that kind of unselfishness with the team, that says a lot. And obviously they shot the ball well. They shot 58% from the field. They were close to their NCAA tournament team record for a while. Then they put in a bunch of reserves. the ball movement was tremendous, and of course the health of the players. Flaugier was out for a long period of time in the second quarter, but it was because of foul trouble, not because of her legs. I think there was some concern maybe she might stiffen up, being out that long. But she came out in the second half, and they felt like an avalanche on Florida State. 31-6, one of the best quarters of all the women's basketball postseason games I've covered over the years. That's one of the very best quarters they've ever had, certainly against a quality opponent.
Let's look ahead now. This NC State team that they're playing on Friday, they played and beat, but it was all the way back in November. And then a potential matchup if UCLA can get behind what is a scrappy Ole Miss team. Got to watch them play. And Lauren Betts, their 6'7" center who averages 20 and 10. LSU saw her last year. She had a nice game, but LSU was able to keep her enough in check to advance that time. She's a year older, a year better. What kind of chance do you give LSU to get through and make it to the Final Four?
I think I've given as good a chance as anybody. I mean, UCLA is yet to make it to the Final Four. It's hard to believe, with the kind of athletic tradition that they have, but they've yet to make it to a Final Four. Yes, Betts is really good. Kiki Rice, their guard, is very good. NC State's got some good players. They went to the Final Four last year. Now they might be mad. They might be looking for revenge, but it's got to be in the back of their minds that LSU handled them by 17 points in the Bahamas back in November. They're tough. They're too tough. Whoever they play, whether it's NC State and UCLA, or if they can win the game, NC State and Ole Miss, who beat them at the end of the regular season, they're going to be tough games. LSU's toughest game 2 years ago en route to the national championship was the Sweet 16 game against Utah. 66-63, I believe, really kind of pulled it out. Remember the Utah player kind of choked at the free throw line. Let's say, at the very end of the game. Yeah, and they pulled it out. So but I think they're on par with those teams, especially the way they've played right now. Only the second team, Charlie, in NCAA women's tournament history to have back-to-back 100-point games in the tournament. The other was Long Beach State, believe it or not, way back in 1988. So they're playing really great right now. Obviously, the level of difficulty goes up every game, from here on. But I don't think NC State or UCLA is that thrilled to look at LSU's box scores and see how well they played.
You're up close for the Mulkey factor. I don't have to go through her record or her resume, but it doesn't matter whether she's jousting with a reporter as she had to do last year, or she's line dancing, like she was the other night in the PMAC. She's as good as it gets, Scott. Why? Give me something that maybe the general public doesn't get to see covering her up close. Why is she so good at this time of year?
Nothing escapes her eye. The attention to detail is just amazing. I asked Bob Starkey a very similar question when he came to work for her. Former Sue Gunner assistant, Dale Brown assistant, Pokey Chapman assistant, took LSU to the Final Four when Pokey resigned in 2007. And I mean, Sue Gunner was a Hall of Fame coach. Dale Brown was a Hall of Fame coach. I said, Bob, what is it about her? He said, she is just so focused, and just everything is important. Every detail is important. And I think she's really good at getting her teams to build throughout the year. You think early in the year, where they're not playing a very tough non-conference schedule usually, other than the NC State game this year. That's certainly their toughest game. And then you get into conference play, and South Carolina's great, and Texas was great this year. But at the end of the year, they got 30 wins. They're in the Sweet 16 again for her for the 18th time, 17th time for LSU. It's just remarkable. And I just think it's just every little detail is important to her. And from the way the program is run, the way it's supported, the way the players play and train and compete, I just think it's rare. Obviously, it's very, very rare, and it reminds me of people I've covered in my career. And she can be demanding. She can be tough to deal with at times, like Skip Bertman was at times when he was the coach, like Nick Saban was. These are the very best coaches I've covered in 30 plus years of covering LSU, and they all have very similar traits, and this is one of them, is that attention to detail.
No doubt she's driven, she's knowledgeable, she's focused. But the thing I like, Charlie, this time of the year is her team is not going to be fazed by the stage. Not happening. And I think that's something that, Skip was really, and the previous, they are the big stage when how many times we sat in Rosenblatt, you see big time prospects, cave, and then role players become stars. You never know. Like, look at Spike Albrecht in the final against Louisville for Michigan. He has like 19 points in the first. You never know, but those coaches, Scott, their teams are not going to be fazed by the big stage.
Oh, no question. And like Kim said, this is not their goal. Their goal is not just to get to the Sweet 16. They have bigger eyes on getting to the Elite Eight and getting to the Final Four and winning the national championship. And you still have a lot of experience on this team that experience, and some players like Anissa Morrow and Michaela Williams. I keep picturing that she was on the 2023 team, and she wasn't. She was a freshman last year. Is that they have that hunger to try to get there, and a coach that has just had so much success in the tournament. She's never lost a first round game since her very first one at Baylor, and she's been in the Sweet 16, like I said, almost every year of her career. It's been pretty remarkable. Yeah, no, they won't be phased. It'll see. They got to make a long trip. So does NC State, obviously. To Spokane, but I think they'll be ready for it, and I'm sure have every confidence that they're going to make it to Tampa for the Final Four.
I agree with everything you guys said, and I'll add one thing. She makes adjustments as well as any coach in the game, men or women. Tania Latson averaged 25 points a game for Florida State. She had 23 points in the first half. They made an adjustment on how they were guarding her off the screen. She scored 7 points in the second half. That's Florida State's leading scorer. That's one of the leading scorers in the country. They made the defensive adjustment. They held her to a third of what she had in the first half. That's coaching. Okay, I'm sorry. That's a very, very big deal.
No doubt.
Scott, let's talk about gymnastics. They win the SEC meet in Birmingham. They are the number 1 seed going into the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history, and they are headed up to Penn State. So kind of give me a lay of the land of what happened down or what happened in Birmingham, and what LSU is looking at when they get to Penn State.
Yeah, it was a very interesting meet. It was a as Jay Clark said, a slobber knocker meet. They're the evening session at the SEC is number 1 Oklahoma at the time, number 2 LSU, number 3 Florida, and number 7 Missouri. This was as good as you would see in a national semifinal, or maybe even the national final in Fort Worth in April. And they were just consistent. All 3 of the other teams had perfect 10, at least 1 or more perfect 10s. Florida had 3 of them, two on bars alone. LSU was just consistent. They went from they didn't count anything higher than a 9.95, which is very, very good. Nothing lower than a 9.85. Just no falls, no big wobbles, nothing. Just very, very consistent. And slow and steady won the race. And they were trailing Florida by half a tenth going to the last event. LSU was on vault and Florida was on beam, and Florida just kind of crumbled. They had a 41.9, which is not awful, but not championship level. And LSU wired it. Haley Bryant gets a 9.95 on vault. She clinches the all-around title for the second straight year. She clinches the team title for LSU, and that allowed their average to vault past Oklahoma's to the number 1 spot. So they're the number 1 overall seed. These are all predetermined regionals, so they get sent to Penn State. That's more of a neutral site. They got Arkansas. They've got Michigan, who won the national championship a few years ago. Michigan State's an up-and-coming team, but LSU is the favorite. They're in a semifinal next Thursday. The top 2 teams out of 4 advance to the regional final. The top 2 teams there advance to Fort Worth for the nationals. And obviously, every expectation that LSU will be there. There's a couple of gymnasts they'd like to have healthier. They'd like to get KJ Johnson on floor. They may get Connor McLean on floor potentially, but those would be the big ones. And by the way, SEC Gymnastics Awards just came out. Kaylin Chio was named Freshman of the Year. No surprise, she was Freshman of the Week 9 times. Haley Bryant, Kaylin Chio, Aaliyah Finnegan, and Connor McLean were all SEC performers. So congratulations to them.
I've been following you with the Chio thing. Yeah, she could have been named Freshman of the Year about halfway through the season. That race was over.
She was 4th in the all-around. Yeah, very good. First time in the SEC. She wasn't talking about not fazed by the big moment. She was 4th overall, so not bad.
Scott, last question. You said they're the favorite up at Penn State. They're the number 1 seed, so obviously they're the favorite. Do you consider them the favorites? They beat Oklahoma in Baton Rouge. Oklahoma beat them in a quad meet earlier in the year, and then
Oklahoma City,
and then LSU came out ahead in Birmingham. Oklahoma's got this deep, deep tradition. LSU beat them last year. It seems like they've made up some ground on them. Do you consider LSU the favorite over Oklahoma overall? You personally?
They beat Florida in Baton Rouge. They beat Oklahoma 2 out of 3 times. Those are the 3 teams most likely to win it. I think UCLA with Jordan Childs, who was a U.S. Olympian last year, could sneak up and have a great score. Florida had the best score in the country. But, yeah, I think LSU has been of late the better team. Oklahoma probably was more consistent over the whole season. But the last few meets, LSU has just been wiring it. A 198-2 in Birmingham, a 198-2 the week before in Auburn. If they're somewhere in that range at nationals, they would be very hard to beat. So, and of course they have the confidence and experience, and they think they can do it, and they just look like they're, so many of their gymnasts are peaking right now. So yeah, they certainly can. Obviously, you look at the top 3 SEC teams and say they're the favorite. Any one of those teams could win. You wouldn't be surprised. Florida always seems to kind of falter in the big meets somehow. I think it's LSU or OU, maybe UCLA thrown in, but I think at the end of the day, I think LSU certainly can prevail, and I would say they're the favorite at this point. I have to say that.
Scott, have a safe trip back from New Orleans, and we'll talk to you next week when hopefully we're talking about the women in the Final Four. We'll talk to you then.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Don't
forget our friends over at Workbox and Workbox Services. My buddy Martin Padial and his crew over at Workbox. They can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial or residential. So, at the residential, it's called the home box, a unit for storage or for moving. It makes it you can kind of do it more when you have it, do the unit in your driveway. Kind of do it at your own pace instead of all at once. That's always nice. The work sites, of course, we could do them 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or 8x40 feet, not just one size. And these units can be customized for any use, whether it's for hunting purposes, lunch rooms, work sites for plumbers or for welders, part office, part storage, you name it, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need, whatever you decide. Give my buddy Martin Padial and Workbox a call at 343-4886 and workboxllc.com.
Live at Rocca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Finding the right personnel for your organization can be a challenge. At Glow Resources, we take that job seriously. But not ourselves. We place the best people into the right job. Glow Resources, complete employee solutions. GlowResources.com.
You're invited to the vibrant annual Holy Festival on Saturday, March 29th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Repentance Park between the Raising Cane's River Center and the Old State Capitol. Admission is free for this family-friendly event, which will feature a lively mix of music, dancing, food, and of course, the iconic color throws that make Holy one of the most joyous celebrations in the world. Powdered colored packets, food, and drinks will be available for purchase. It's Holy Festival, March 29th.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
The Live at Lunch with Otten Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Louisiana Lagniappe on Perkins and Bluebonnet. Winner of the most 225's Best of Awards. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street to now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I got to fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WOW24. 25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WOW25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WOW25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code WOW25.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Struggling to lose weight? Feeling overwhelmed by diets and exercise plans that just don't work? There's a better way. Unique Physique offers weight loss injectable medications. Semaglutide, now only $195 a month, and tirzepatide is only $325 a month. The lowest prices in town. No contracts, no gimmicks, just real results without the hassle. Visit uniquephysique.com or call today to schedule a consultation and unlock your weight loss potential. Unique Physique, your weight loss solution.
Get ready for big savings at the Skag Open House. Visit All Outdoor Power Equipment in Port Allen from March 24th to the 29th. Discover unbeatable deals on all Skag mowers. Don't miss out on this exclusive event.
Jake and James of Trash Rangers. Do you need one more reason to switch your residential trash pickup? How about $13.95 a month for the first few months? Go to trashrangers.com and make the switch today.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
121-1674. Offices in Baton Rouge.
From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
All right, let's talk to Wes out in Las Vegas right now, as we do each and every Wednesday. Wes, how was your March Madness? Mom got a little roughed up. I'm kind of on the public side the first couple of days. I gravitate to some of these obscure dogs, and boy, it got a little bloody on Friday.
Yeah, round two was much better for me than round one. Thursday was actually my bad day. Just, sometimes when you get in a car during the day and you have that one that goes against you, it puts you a little on tilt, and one loss becomes 2 and 3 and 4 losses. And that's what happened to me actually in the Clemson-McNeese State total, where I have the under, and I don't have the best of the number, but you got one team that scores 13 points in the first half. You're thinking, okay, they're not going to get 90 in the second half in this game. Sure as hell they did. And, that compounds with other losers. And then just, made a couple bad sides. And you can do that. Momentum is an absolute thing, in a big day like any day in March Madness. Playing Georgia, which was an absolutely horrible bet against Gonzaga. So Friday, small loser. Thursday, big loser. Saturday, small winner. And then Sunday was actually probably my best day, that second round of 32.
It was just, the Grand Canyons, Bryant's, but I mean, none of them, some of these were just, they weren't even competitive. And listen, we're paying attention. And the Cinderella may not be dead, but damn, she got a tougher road these days. I mean, you just can't pull. Look at the stars in college basketball, whether it's Clayton Jr. from Iona at Florida, Sears from Ohio to Bama, Broome from Morehead State to Auburn, Nelson from North Dakota State to Alabama. I mean, there's cherry picking these guys. And, UC San Diego, they could have won a game or two, no doubt. McNeese State, we're going to put a roster together no matter what. But it's going to be tougher. We may have to reevaluate, this obscure dog in these first round games, moving forward.
It is going to be more difficult because this whole thing is new in terms of the portal and the NIL. Like, we're only a couple years into this thing. What we haven't seen is some kids at power programs transfer down yet. Because, you're going to get less NIL. It's kind of like a middle major type program. But are we going to see more things like Drake this year? Now, Drake did win the game against Missouri, made the second round, where you're getting Division II or NAIA or low major to mid major transferring up, where it's going to ground stronger, and time's gonna tell on that. Like, I don't think it's necessarily dead, but it is a little bit unfortunate. We don't want 6 double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16, and maybe chaos every 5 to 10 years, but we don't want that. But we also don't want where Arkansas is your freaking Cinderella right now. Arkansas, the 10th seed. Arkansas, other than Duke, might be one of the most talented teams left in this tournament. And they're the only team with a double-digit seed, so go figure.
Well, one of the big stories the whole season, and now with the Sweet 16 is the SEC. Well, why is the SEC? Well, they're coaching too, but their payrolls, okay? And, their player payrolls. And the number one SEC payroll is Arkansas this year. So, yes, Calipari's always been a Cinderella, huh, Wes? I mean, always.
Yeah. Well, he does better when he has little expectations, because that was one I did get right on Saturday over St. John's, and it was more of a play against St. John's, but all of a sudden he got discounted. It's like, well, he's in the tournament, and whatnot, but he's got all McDonald's All-Americans, and he was able to flip a team. That's why I say to people that are worried when you see like 3 or 4 kids transfer out of a program in a day or two, don't clutch your pearls just yet, because we look at this Sweet 16 and Michigan turned over their whole roster, basically. So did Kentucky under Mark Pope. So did Arkansas under Cal. There's only one team, Purdue, that returned basically everybody that is playing now from last year's team. So that's just the way it is now. You got to turn them over. It's like turning tables at a restaurant. Get them in, get them out. That's what you're doing here.
On the reverse side, Auburn, I mean, with all those quad ones, and no matter how much you want to emphasize quad ones, I mean, it's just a bus. A bus load. Let's face it. This is a weak ACC. We just don't know. Duke looks real good. It's funny how you got to go to the once proud ACC. It reminds me of some of those UNLV teams where, man, they just beating up on everybody that they're playing. And of course, the UNLV played tough non-conference, but I mean, how good are they when they get into much tougher competition? But on the reverse side, Auburn, they're not playing at the level. Since they clinched with a week to go, with 2 regular season games to go, they're not playing at that level right now. And are they capable of recapturing that level? West moving forward now we in the Sweet 16, because that number looks a little bit high. That's maybe a number that would have been posted a month ago, but I'm not so sure right now.
Yeah, I was fortunate with Auburn on Saturday that they barely covered against Creighton, because Creighton hit like 9 threes in the first half. I probably won't lay it with Auburn. I actually lean the under at that game at 154.5. And Michigan is finding ways. Michigan is absolutely finding ways. Who would have thought that they would have out-rebounded Texas Tech, even though Michigan has 2 7-footers? It's like, Texas A&M. It's like nobody out-rebounds Texas A&M, but Michigan did. And, Texas A&M couldn't make enough shots to keep up with them. But I kind of think lower pace game. I'm interested in how some of these totals are going to play when you get to these big stadiums. We know when they play down at Houston, like it's a cavern at that stadium. We'll see how it plays, at Atlanta, and how it plays at Lucas Oil up in Indianapolis, of what that is going to be. It's tough to bet unders, I understand, but that's kind of where I'm looking in a couple of these games, especially in the big stadium.
Who do you like in these 8 matchups over Thursday and Friday?
Yeah, I took BYU plus 5.5 against Alabama. I think Alabama, St. Mary's actually, if you look at the game, that was a lot more competitive than I think the final score indicated. And St. Mary's just couldn't make any shots. BYU, we know, can make shots. They showed that against Wisconsin. They showed that against VCU. They can live at the line. They lived at the line against VCU, whereas I thought BYU might have a chance to get knocked out in the first round. So we're going to get fireworks. What is this, the highest total since 1995, I believe, at now 175. So I like how BYU has been playing down the stretch here. I took the 5.5 with these guys. I'm not really looking to fade Duke. anytime soon, even though that number is now up to 9.5. I think that they're the best team in the tournament, and they should be the favorite. Arkansas, I'm waiting on if McMillan's going to play for Texas Tech. If he doesn't go, I think that this is go time on Arkansas. I think they got the talent to compete with anybody. So we'll likely be on them. And then going to Friday, if there's one favorite I do like, it's Houston, 7.5, 8 against Purdue. I just think this is a tough matchup. Fletcher Boyer is being kind of held together with duct tape right now. He's hurt. Braden Smith, who's the Big Ten Player of the Year, and deservedly so. You watched him the first two games against High Point and against the State. He turned the ball over a lot. And now you're stepping up in class against maybe the best defensive team in the country in Houston. I think Houston might have the smallest cheering section in Indy, but they might be the loudest because I think they're the best team there, and I think they roll over Purdue, and I also like that game under.
Texas Children's Houston Open. Before we get into your picks and your breakdown, I understand that maybe Scheffler here is back in his home state, but say your power ratings. Just of course, there are matchups and where they're playing and which game, what style to suit the different golfers. But how close do you have Scheffler and McIlroy?
Closer than the odds board does at plus 350 for Scotty and about 7-1 for Rory. I would still make Scotty the favorite in the matchup as the market does. I think minus 140, minus 145 is fair, considering Scotty's been the runner-up on this course at Memorial Park twice. Rory's never played here. You always, when you see it up, you want to win when you're that level of player. But I think Rory, this is a little bit of a fine-tuning trip for him. I really do. Wanted to get a start before Augusta. Memorial Park, they make it kind of similar to Augusta in the fact that you got wide fairways and you don't have a lot of hazards, and then you got some tricky greens. So that's what they're going to do here. So I think Scotty should be the favorite, but I'm not betting either of the top two this week on an outright at all.
Who are you looking at, Wes?
Yeah, I went with Minwoo Lee at 35-1, and he's getting a little bit popular. Not won yet on the PGA Tour. He's obviously an established player, but 4 top 20s last 6 starts. Top 16 in the field for all the short games, putting around the green, scrambling. He's a big hitter who sprays it all over the place off the tee, but you can get away with that here because there's not a lot of thick rough and there's not a lot of water hazards. There's barely any bunkers. I think there's only 21 on the entire course because this is a municipal course in Houston. So a lot of the public, I think you get in on this course for about a $40 green fee. So they don't want it to be too hard for the public. So Minwoo Lee, also Davis Thompson at the same price. Driving the ball pretty well, top 10 in the field for total driving and strokes gain off the tee. Also in scrambling, got to putt a little bit better. And then a couple speculative ones in the mid-50s. Taylor Pendrith, who has been awful with the putter of late, even though he did gain 6 strokes with the Players. But third off the tee, 7 for total driving on the tour. And also another guy hadn't played very well to start this year, but maybe this is where he's going to show. Sahith Theegala, 55-1. 1 top 20 and 9 starts this season, but top 10 on tour for total birdies. Just, I don't think he's going to get hurt off the tee, and that's going to help him. Same with Max Grazerman, who you can get around 7-1, who's top 10 here on in this event, and that was really his first good finish of the year, which led him to be top 50 in the FedEx Cup at the end of the year. And then we'll go a couple triple digits here. Nikolai Højgaard, 105-1, missed the cut last week. I think this is a better course for him. Top 6 approach in this field. And then I'm going to go back to Aldrich Potgieter, who we got hurt on at the Mexico Open.
Pot man, let's go.
Yeah, the pot man back. Hopefully, there's no trees to bounce off where he's being opposed like last time. He missed 3 cuts in a row, by the way, in Florida. So he's not coming in on great form, but it's not a positional driving course. It favors the big hitters, and who's number 1 on that in distance on the tour? It's Pot Man at 150-1, and then a guy who's pretty much up there on distance, Stephen Fitz at 175-1. He's a rookie on the tour, played at Georgia Southern, won on the Korn Ferry last year. Very good off the tee. Think that he could go well. So that's what you want to do. If you're playing these triple-digit guys, look at the guys that are the bottom. Kind of what we saw last year with Alejandro Tosti. Remember, he was right in the mix last year before we eventually hit the winner with Stephen Yeager after Scotty missed that 4-footer on 18 that would have made it to a playoff.
Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Wes Reynolds won at Wes Reynolds won. Let's get another winner here in golf. Wes, good luck. Sweet 16 and golf this weekend. We'll talk to you next week, buddy.
You bet, guys. Same to you. Thanks for having me.
All right.
And we ask you to remember about total maintenance, AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, total maintenance, your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these things. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Get that unit service now. Their slogan's always been service today, every day. So when you call today, you get service today. Don't get caught having to go to sleep hot. Total Maintenance expanded into New Orleans, so they got full staffs in both New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units. Generac and Cummings generators for all your electrical and plumbing needs as well. In Baton Rouge, it's 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. Live at Rocca, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Got your lunch plans yet? Might I recommend P.F. Chang's? Explore their full Asian-inspired menu. Ask about the specials. And, of course, take in the ambiance and service that puts P.F. Chang's beyond compare. In Town Center, off Corporate Boulevard. Look for the giant golden horse.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
Electricians, want competitive pay and a family-owned company that values you? Boudreaux's Electrical Services is hiring. Power Louisiana homes with Generac home standby generators. Call 225-300-9389 or apply at boudreauxelectrical.com.
Enjoy the convenience of Genesis Service Valet, an ownership benefit that allows you to have your vehicle serviced without leaving your home or office. The valet will pick up your vehicle for maintenance and return it once it's done. Additionally, if required, the valet can provide a loaner or transport you to and from the retailer. Service Valet is available for 3 years or 36,000 miles with a purchase of a new Genesis. Visit GenesisOfBatonRouge.com today to explore our lineup and schedule your test drive. Luxury awaits. Genesis of Baton Rouge on Airline across from Women's Hospital.
This is Charles Hanniger for Supreme Rice. I sort of feel like a member of the Supreme Rice family because they're from Southwest Louisiana, just like me. So when you're enjoying Supreme Rice, the perfect complement for all your red and white beans, stews, gumbos, and etouffees, know that you're also supporting our Louisiana farmers and stretching your food dollar at the same time. Supreme Rice, for the last 80 years, has been delighting their customers. So pick up Supreme Rice the next time you shop. For more information and unique recipes, learn more at supremerice.com.
Community banks touch every corner of our lives. They support us as we turn life's goals into accomplishments. Goals like going to college, opening a small business, buying a home, planning a wedding, or having a baby. From your first car to a new life after retirement, Landmark Bank is here for all of life's milestones. At Landmark Bank, we can provide you with various solutions through personal and business checking, savings, loans, and competitive CD rates. Let's get started. Call me, Jennifer Knapp, at 225-719-1578.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, near Starring since 1988.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Spring is here, and the experts at Capital City Comfort want to guarantee your comfort with a new energy-efficient Rheem HVAC system. This spring, take advantage of special financing and expert installation on all new units.
For service you can feel, you gotta call Capital City Comfort.
Visit CapitalCityComfort-BR.com.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Tracks.
Don't forget the consensus call picks, Imogen, please.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Super Chevy dealers today.
Our Wednesday consensus golf picks are brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown.
And our consensus golf picks here from Rocca Pizzeria. We're at Government Street here in Mid-City. Come by and join us here on what's a gorgeous day in Baton Rouge. All right, Max, let's go with your picks to open up here.
Yeah, Houston Open. I really like this golf course. Memorial Park, it's, as Wes mentioned, anybody can play it. I think it's pretty much favored to the Houston residents. But my brother lives right by the course. He said they haven't had a whole lot of rain as of late, which is good because they're supposed to get quite a bit of rain Thursday through Saturday. So the course should be able to hold it a little bit better than if it were already wet. But this track does typically favor a little bit of a longer hitter just because there's not a whole lot of penalty for missing the fairway. They've even lowered the rough this year from 2.5 inches to 1.5 inches. So it even more favorable. I think that's trying to mimic Augusta National a little bit where there's not a whole lot of rough. These greens are raised as well. They're very much a test around the greens. So you can't be a bad chipper and really have a whole lot of success here, which is rare for courses. Normally it's pretty easy on PGA Tour to chip. But that's where I'm going to start with someone who's had a lot of success here at Memorial Park, and that's Tony Finau at 35-1. Runner-up last year, but won it just 2 years ago, back when this was in November of 2022. He's not got the best form right now. He missed the cut at the Players, but I don't take too much out of the Players because so much can happen there with all the water that's out there. He's just a long enough hitter with good iron play and a really good around the green game traditionally in his career that if his putter pops off, which it did not last year, he should have won this event last year, but just could not putt worth a lick. I think if he gets it going, you're getting good pedigree. I kind of missed out on Victor Hovland last week. Been playing him a lot. Didn't take him last week at 90-1 and really regretted that. So I'm going to take a guy who's got some win equity in Tony Finau at 35-1 to start my card. Siwoo Kim, 50-1. Not a long hitter by any stretch of the imagination, but has done pretty well on long courses and is, in decent enough form. Traditionally, maybe lacks that winning upside, but he's gotten 4 top 25 finishes in his last 5 starts and also a really good around the green player. So Siwoo Kim at 50-1. A couple of mid-range guys here. Alex Smalley, 60-1. Another pedigree guy. Hits a lot of greens. That's the one thing that you're going to need this week. These are pretty large greens, but those drop-offs around the greens means it's very important just to hit the green. Maybe you don't have to hit it inside 10 feet. A lot of times you look for somebody who throws darts, but he's maybe not that type of player, but hits a lot of greens, which is going to be important this week. Just to give yourself a couple easy 2-putt pars, and he does that pretty well. Thomas Dietrich, 60-1. This is an interesting one. He won the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Kind of took a breath, as a lot of players do when they get a big win. Didn't play great afterwards, but had a nice finish a week ago, and it just seems like this is the type of course for him. Hits the greens, but also a long enough hitter and really, really good around the green player. Taylor Moore, 66-1. Not a great approach player, but again, the whole task here is just to hit the middle of the greens. Hit the middle of the greens. He's got the rest of the game around him. Really good around the green player, 23rd in the field and around the green the last 24 rounds, and also a long enough hitter to make it work here. Harris English, 101. I mentioned Dietrich, somebody who has won here recently, and now you're getting good odds on him. Harris English is 100-1, and he just won at Torrey Pines. I mean, that's a pretty tough golf course. He's traditionally a very good long course hitter. The yardage to par is among the highest it is on the PGA Tour. A lot of longer shots than what you see a lot. Not a whole lot of wedge. It's not a wedge fest. You're not going to be hitting short 100 and 125-yard shots in a whole lot of these greens. So Harris English is somebody who does well on these long courses, even though this is a par 70. It doesn't really stack up 74, 7,500 yards, so it might not sound like it that much. But to par, it's a long, long golf course. So Harris English, somebody who's won recently, had a chance to breathe. Now he's getting back into the flow of things. I like him this week at 100-1. And a couple bombs as well. One is very notable because Wes just mentioned him. Stephen Fisk, 175-1. This is just a fit play. It's pretty much exclusively a fit play because he's a long enough hitter. He's second in the field in greens gained, which is a stat that says how much do you hit the greens in regulation compared to the field in a normal event. Second on that golf course, so he's just aiming in the middle of the green, 2-putting from there, and this is a lower winning score. We saw 12 under, 13 under typically wins here. So pars are your friend at this venue. This is not a birdie fest. And so a guy like Stephen Fisk could rise to the occasion, and also pretty well on long courses, does pretty good around the greens. And Hayden Springer as well, another long shot at 250 to 1, just a fit play as well. So Finau, Siwoo Kim, Smalley, Dietrich, Taylor Moore, and Harris English, with a couple bombs of Stephen Fisk and Hayden Springer.
All right, so that gives us our consensus. We got four common picks. No unanimous from our three contributors. But first of all, off the top of the list, a couple of 35 to 1 shots. These are the lines. These are the odds over at the Queen, locally, a DraftKings provider. Min Woo Lee at 35 to 1, and Davis Thompson at 35 to 1. So Min Woo Lee, and then Thompson, Atlanta, Georgia, state, played at Georgia. Next one will be, this guy seems like his form is better, and kind of a breakthrough season for him, Alex Smalley, Max. But the Duke Blue Devil from Rochester, New York, he's hanging around. There was another one that he was right there, finished like maybe second or third, top 5. What tournament was that? I don't think it was an elevated event, but he was
top 10 at the Mexico Open, but in his last...
That was it. He was right there, though.
He was. And that was a tight leaderboard. In his last 8 starts, he's got 6 top 25 finishes. Very good season for him.
And then bombs away with Fisk. Get your ladders out, boys.
Why not? This is just one.
Outright 10s, 20s, whatever.
Play the placement markets, finished top 4 at the Puerto Rico Open. That's an event where not a whole lot of people are paying attention because the Arnold Palmer is the same weekend, so it's an alt-field event. Not a great field in that, but showed that he can at least compete at some level in the PGA Tour. And last week at the Valspar, finished a respectable top 30 finish.
There you go. So our consensus again, Min Woo Lee, Davis Thompson, Alex Smalley, and then Stephen Fisk, F-I-S-K, like Carlton. All right, there you go. So anyway, our consensus golf report brought to you by our consensus golf picks brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime. So dedicated to protecting your rights, fighting for the justice that you deserve. So whatever issues, personal injury, criminal defense, DWI, estate plannings, our great team of attorneys, Dana Brown, Susan Brown, Chris Perrette, Jacqueline Champagne, David Connican, free consultation. You can come on the website and you can set up that free and natural consultation. We'll review your case at no cost to you. Want to take the time to get to know you, understand your legal goals and your objectives, and better familiarize yourself with your situation and your case. So again, both Charlie and I have used Dana's team of attorneys for different reasons at different stages, and did not hesitate 1 second to recommend them to friends and acquaintances as well. Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime, 343-1111 at ocbrown.com.
Live at Rocca, live at lunch. We'll be back to wrap things up as they are finishing up Pro Day at LSU as well. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled. That's right. It's okay.
You was ready?
Sammy's on Old Perkins Road. Okay. That's the old Tommy's Fish House?
Old Porch Light. It's Tommy's Fish House.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not even saying that. Sammy's on Old Perkins Road.
Old Perkins Road near Airline in
Okay.
Oh, you was ready?
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
It's rolling.
This is Charles Hanniger. Join us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from. This is Charles Hanniger. This is Charles Hanniger. Join us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Sammy's Grill on Old Perkins Road near Airline. Randy, no, come on, man. This is Charles Handegriff. Join us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Sammy's Grill on Old Perkins near Airline Highway. Matt Humans, Kenny White, Dwayne Colucci, and Chris Massaro will all be with us as we get ready for the resumption of the NCAA basketball tournament. Live at Lunch from Sammy's on Old Perkins Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We told you. Find Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video, and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
The Fusion Implant Center would like to thank all of our patients for allowing us to be part of their life-changing transformations. Hi, this is Dr. Leo Reagan.
And I'm Dr. Michael Casadaband. Imagine eating, tasting, and smiling with confidence again, all in just one day. With the Fusion Implant System, you can say goodbye to dentures and replace your missing teeth for good.
Curious why your dentist recommends the Fusion Implant Center? It's simple. We're the only doctors in Louisiana that do what we do.
We're proud to be the only facility in Louisiana where you receive comprehensive treatment all in one place, provided by the same dedicated team of board-certified experts. It's no wonder so many dentists refer their patients to us every single day.
So don't wait any longer. Make today the day you change your smile forever. Call us or visit FusionImplantCenter.com. Remember, one moment can change a day, and one day can change your life. Your perfect smile starts at the Fusion Implant Center.
Let's face it, life throws you curveballs. At Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, we help you stand tall. Whether you're facing ED or battling low T, we've got the solutions to help you regain the oomph you need. Goodwood is your partner in men's sexual wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Roca Pizzeria on Government Street on 1045 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Hey, wrapping up at Pro Day over at LSU as we continue here at Rocca. The highlights of the day belong to Josh Williams, who ran a 4.45 40 and who also had a 42-inch vertical leap, which would have been second overall at the Combine this year and third of any running back at any Combine ever. Josh Williams couldn't have showed up and had a better performance today. The other really nice number was Mason Taylor's 40 time, which was 4.65. That would have been second. That would have been second at the Combine. Again, Warren didn't run the Combine. That's to Thornton at Oregon. So that's a very, very good number for Mason Taylor. He ran it twice, 4.65 and 4.68. Kyron Lacey ran the 40 in 4.5 flat. And Garrett Dellinger ran today, which I think is good. He ran a 5.1. Doesn't really matter about lineman in the 40. Just that he's healthy because he missed the end of the season. I thought that was a good sign for him. A lot of the bigger prospects at LSU didn't do anything today. These guys that did the Combine, Will Campbell did not work out today. Emory Jones did not work out today. Braden Swinson did not work out today. They did all of those things back at the Combine. Savion Jones did everything today. He ran a 4.7 flat in the 40, measured 6'5.5", 283 pounds. Jones, I think, helped himself a ton in this final year at LSU. I thought he came a long way. I think he's got a good chance. Got a good chance there. So wrapping up Pro Day over at LSU. Oh, you had a bench press number for Mason Taylor too. I wanted to mention that one.
Point at Max. You look like you wanted Max's
because
bench press numbers, huh?
because he pointed it out to me.
Yeah, I could maybe take on Mason Taylor. 28 reps on the bench press.
Okay, that's pretty good for a tight end.
225.
Yeah.
Yep.
28 times for a tight end, and he came in today. Looking for his 6'5" and a quarter, 246. So that's good numbers. And if you watching the All 22, which we had available to us on the podcast on the Handycast, and watching Richard Dixon break down Mason Taylor as a blocker this past season was educational for me. A lot of the things that you can see on the All 22 that maybe you miss on the television cut. He came a long way.
Play a little tight end at Akron. He was at Akron, right?
Yeah, boy, he was built to do it. I don't know if he did or not. He was. Jason Taylor played probably about
today,
6'5", about 250,
Jason
right?
Taylor wouldn't finish his career at Akron, huh?
No, he wouldn't.
Or just
Right.
not long. What about Khalil Mack?
Khalil Mack would have never stayed at Buffalo.
You know,
right? No, none of those guys. Where's
Taylor drafted? His dad,
Jason Taylor. I want to say
it
it
was
was
first round,
second round,
third
pick.
round,
third,
third round pick.
all the way third round,
Yeah.
really.
Hall
Okay.
of Famer in the third round.
Jimmy, you remarked we were watching some of the combine. Mason Taylor popped up at one of the shows we were doing. You said he looked pretty big. You kind of remarked.
Without pads,
pads,
you know,
yeah.
because
30.
So, but I love his instincts, and that's why I asked, because he really secures the ball and gets up the field.
He's gonna be a good
while
player in the
he
NFL
does
for a
it.
long time.
No, he's gonna have a very nice career.
Can't
So
miss.
his blocking is
Better.
improved.
It's
Yeah,
improved,
that's
for
good.
sure. Thanks to the folks here at Rocca Pizzeria. Tomorrow we are at Sammy's Grill on
10.
Old Perkins Road near Airline Highway. For Max, for Jimmy, Jordan back in the studio. I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic?
All right, you guys have a good one.
Thank you,
Thanks, you
Jordan.
too.
Talk to you tomorrow.